Some people are always the center of attraction for everyone. Kazuki and Suzun are two of them, and some are like Usato, who could be forgotten easily. Usato was a good student and he enjoyed himself, but he always wanted a fantastic life. It was raining, and his umbrella was missing. In a stroke of bad luck, he saw an umbrella but didn't embezzle it and started waiting for the rain to stop. But the rain wasn't stopping. Suddenly Suzun came and asked what he was doing, and he told her that he lost his umbrella, and it was late. Kazuki came and gave him the spare umbrella of his. They had a little chit-chat and Usato came to know that they were very nice. Kazuki asked to walk home together, and they started walking. While walking they started talking and Usato told them because they were the personalities in the school, he didn't believe that they would talk like this. But they were very nice and kind. Out of curiosity our innocent man asked if they were dating. They stopped, and she said everyone whispered always but he was the one who asked in person. They appreciated him and said no, they were only good friends. She asked about their plans, but no one had decided including her. They were talking and suddenly they heard bells sound. They stopped but Usato had not heard anything. Suddenly a yellow light from the magical circle appeared and Suzun was excited as if it was summoning from another world. Usato woke up and they were in front of King Lloyd of Linger. Kazuki was nervous, but Our Lady was excited and Usato was staring at her out of his shock. Kazuki asked why they were in his palace and Lloyd told them that his kingdom was attacked by a demon king, and he wanted help from heroes to protect his kingdom. Kazuki was angry and he told him that the ritual only summoned heroes in one direction, but Suzun was still excited. When Kazuki tried to argue, King apologized and walked to them. He bowed his head and asked for their help. Suzun asked why he was calling them heroes. According to Lloyd and Wellesley, the ritual only summons competent persons and they hear bells when they summoned. But our man had not heard anything. Now Wellesley took them to measure their magical abilities and our boys started talking, but Our Lady was excited because it was fun for her. Wellesley prepared the magical ball and when she touched it, it turned yellow and it was a thunder ability. She was happy and proud. When Kazuki touched it, it turned white, which was a light ability. It was a rare magical power. Now our man stepped forward and when touched the ball turned green. Wellesley was stressed and took him with her. They went to the king and when he came to know that the ball turned green, he was also shocked. Suddenly a girl named Rose came and asked for the ritual. The king was still nervous. They told her about it, and she asked Usato for his introduction and the king told her that he was summoned by chance and the heroes were in the room. She was about to leave, and our man asked for the green color power. Suddenly Rose turned, and the king ordered Wellesley to take Usato away. She used her magic to do so, but Rose started running after him and caught him. She told King that he'd be a member of her rescue team. Suzun and Kazuki were also informed that Usato were stolen, and he was at Rose's house. She told Usato that she'd teach him the healing magic and summoned her boys. They introduced themselves and our man was frightened. Because they had scary faces, Rose told them to be nice. She told him that his training would start tomorrow, and he could sleep with Tong tonight. He was hopeful for something good and Rose was thinking about him. Now the next day when he woke up, he wished that it might be a dream but was informed that he had some guests. Kazuki and Suzun came to meet him. They asked about his abduction, and he was a little stressed but hopeful for the best. Suzun was also cheerful about her training. Kazuki patted his shoulder and decided to give his 100% and they left. Rose came and told him that he could meet with anyone, but our man was scared. She also gave him a diary to write about his experiences and said the training would be started after the breakfast. Now his training started. It wasn't very difficult from the start. She gave him a book for the basic knowledge of this world, and he was able to read it. On day 2, he had to run, and the training started to get difficult for him. When he was tired, she healed him and told him to run again. From day 4, he was training with others and all the guys were strong and fast. They also teased him, but our man didn't stop. Rose was also rude. Day after day our man was becoming stronger, and his training was becoming more and more hard for him. Rose was a cold-hearted bitch to him, but his magical powers were coming out for a short time. From the next day his hardships increased. Our man was helpless, but suddenly he healed himself and was shocked. His willpower increased, and he started enjoying the training. But she increased his exercise, and he was mad at her. He was doing push-ups, and his power was increasing. She told him that it would be helpful in the battle, but she was still as crazy as usual. He again started enjoying the training, and one day Tong ate his lunch, and they started fighting. But the fight was also like training for him. Kazuki and Suzun came to meet him along with Princess Celia. When they saw him, they were shocked because he was under heavy weight, but our man was ready to bear it. He was holding it. Siglys got angry and yelled at Rose. She said that he was a solid man who was facing all the tasks with a warm heart, and he would be her right hand, and our man was shocked. She freed him and said he could enjoy himself with his friends. Siglys asked to talk with her, and the kids went to enjoy themselves. They started talking, and when he came to know that Celia was a princess, he tried to console her. but she said it was okay. They were served with a delicious sweet and they started enjoying. Kazuki asked about his training and started telling him about their training. Suddenly Our Lady got lusty on solid muscles and Kazuki was sorry for his hardships. But our man said it was enjoyable because he was habitual now. He was also hopeful to help them in the battle. Suddenly Tong came with his lunch and he was very rough with him. They started fighting and Kazuki was happy for him. They started praising his efforts and said he'd prove himself and they left without saying goodbye. Suzun believed that there was a reason that the three of them were summoned. At night he was taking a bath, and he was happy to meet with Suzun and Kazuki. He started looking at his body out of curiosity because he had worked hard, and this body was the result of Rose and his efforts. The next day Rose asked him to accompany her, and they went out. She told Thomas that she wanted to show Yusato the world around and he ran away. The gate opened and they went outside. On his asking she told him to be silent and follow, and she showed him the forest called the Darkness of Linger. She told him to kill a monster and he was stressed. He tried to beg but she was persistent. She lifted him up and then threw him in the sky. He was falling and was about to die but he used his healing power and got saved somehow. Now a wide forest was in front of him. He was thinking about his task of killing a bear and thought that it would be easy, but suddenly a white bear appeared, and his pants got tight. He started running but the bear was after him. He was powerful, but his skills were of no use because they were 3 in number. Suddenly he jumped from the cliff and fell into the waterfall. He was safe and sound. Now he checked his stuff and was all useless. He cursed Rose and slept. The next day he decided to observe the forest and went out. He was doing great and suddenly saw a rabbit. It was injured but our man saved him with his magic and the rabbit started following him wherever he went. Yusato tried to convince it to go away, but he understood him and not going anywhere. The rabbit showed him the way to the bears, and they started watching them. It was a family of blue and white bears. He went to a river and drank water from it but got a stomachache because it was poisonous, and when he tried to heal himself, it was useless. Now the rabbit showed him a lake with clear water, and he felt amazing. Suddenly the rabbit jumped on the tree and Yusato followed it. Suddenly a huge snake appeared, and it was scary. Yusato had spent some days in the forest, but he was just watching the bears but wasn't able to attack because it was uncomfortable for him. It was raining and the rabbit was asking for something, but he refused. The next day he decided to kill the bear and when he went there, they were already killed. He was shocked because he was upset about the little alive bear, and he promised to get revenge on the snake. On the other side Kazuki and Suzun went to meet him, but they came to know that he was in training. On the way back they had a little chat, and they were hopeful that Yusato would be alright. Yusato started exercising to make himself strong. He asked the rabbit to show the way and reached for the snake. The little bear was already fighting with it and our man attacked the snake and injured it, but the snake was also not weak and attacked Yusato. Our man's arm was in its mouth, but he attacked it and tried to heal himself. Somehow with the help of the little bear he attacked the snake and killed it. Yusato was very weak, and he lay down. The bear started licking him and suddenly the snake woke up and was about to kill him, but Rose came and saved him. She told him that the rabbit named Kukura was her pet, and it was a demonic snake and our man yelled at her, but she said he had proved himself. Bear tried to attack her, but our man patted him, and they got attached. She told them that they all could go home now, and she grabbed them. At the sunset, she told him that he had qualified to be her right hand because he was experienced a little bit and now, he was able to get a way out of a problem. On the other side, Amelia was prepared for an attack on Linger. Would Yusato be able to kill the Demon King or not? Subscribe to our channel Bond Express for the latest updates.